What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to analyze today two really nice trades that we took, live recorded, live streamed, live alerted, live whatever you want on in Discord. A lot of people ask me, hey, how'd you know these levels were going to level? How'd you know? How did we catch almost, my hair looks crazy, my haircut's so bad, almost 600 points in total. So first trade was on NQ, second trade was on ES. First trade was right off of some news. So we'll jump in the 5 minute. So our first trade was right around this 10 a.m. candle. So overall, it was fully like we get a move downward off the open, which was the 9:30 to 10 a.m., which we did. That was this 9:30 down here. Then I thought we'd take this trend line liquidity off of this trend line and push higher after we hit this little level right here, 172.45. And guess what? It's exactly what happened. We also did have news. A lot of times, you catch a lot of reversals happen during news, which is the catalyst, right? If you just use technical analysis, the market is not going to go anywhere. Technical analysis will be you just going up and down through support and resistance, but we need the catalyst to move the market. So our entry was right around right here. We had a little bit of drawdown, but we understood with the news it came right quickly right back up, and we looked for these longs all the way up to these equal highs here first. So all this equalized, potentially for this liquidity to get taken out. And also we had a typical horchata setup with the liquidity and fair value gap. So this was a fair value gap. And then this was the liquidity that was built up from the pre-market, about three levels, and then boom, hits it and comes right back down. So that was kind of our trade, a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Pretty chill trade. Pretty much was only in drawdown for that news candle. It was about 200 to, it was actually a little more. It's a little more than 200, which means our entry was a little lower. It was about 300. It was right here, our entry, if I'm being exact. So it was almost 300 points, and we took our last TP right into that horchata setup. So that was the very first trade. Again, also looking at ES on the other side, I saw some strength with ES as NQ was a tiny bit weaker, and then when we took out this low and quickly brought it back up, I thought we got a pretty strong divergence here because this pushed a really new low, and this one barely took out the low, right? So we had a little bit of divergence there. Kind of telling me, hey, this long setup should work with the tight risk on that kind of close under the trend line. So again, everybody banked. We analyzed our risk, we analyzed our reward, and it was a really, really good trade. But then what happened next was even a better trade presented itself. This time was on ES. I'm on the 1 minute here. Let me go zoom it out a little bit. So yes, we had this key area that we had marked out from the pre-market at 4878 right here. This was this fair value gap that was untapped from the 2 a.m. move, right? So this was the 2 a.m. move, boom, fair value gap, and be untapped, which needed to come and get tapped at some point. And now we see a little bit of divergence on the opposite direction. This hits much lower. This one hits pretty much at equal low. Let's take out the low, but it was pretty much at the equal low, right? So now our long position here would be something roughly right here, stop loss, right under the close under the fair value gap. Remember, always look for the fair value gap close, and we were targeting up here. Now we got much more out of it, and I'll be honest with you guys, I did not expect the PTs to go as far as it did. Right after this one right here, I did expect us to hit this high, but then this shit just kept going. We didn't catch most of the move, but we did hold a couple runners that paid off really well. But let's say you were extraordinary and you caught the whole move. It's almost 42 points on yes, which is a ton. If you do 42 times 50, it's 2,500, I think, if my math is somewhat correct. But realistically, our trade was more like this. Again, a really great trade as well, almost a 10-hour trade. Right, if we move this, let's just call it 1 to 4 trade. But the reason is I had this fair value gap that was untapped from the pre-market was also in premium. And I thought it needed to come get touched, and if this didn't hold, I had a next level of right down here for 872.50. Again, when you have these levels with real tight stop loss and high risk reward, you can take more trades. If I have super wide stops like this, I cannot be wrong very often. But if I have tight stops and I can be I have tight stops, I can, and have a high risk reward, I can be even 50-50 wrong. Right now I happen to have a really high win rate as well, but let's say you do not have a high win rate. If you have a high risk reward, you can definitely keep taking trades, right? Keep taking trades, and then the ones that hit should make up for losses. And once, look at this high now, holding a support, right? The importance of the previous highs while we're here watching live. And also we talked about this during the stream as well, that as long as the market is giving you the structure that you want you to hold your position, especially when we're talking about here, we had, let's zoom in here on, like, for example, a 3-minute trade, right? A 3-minute. We entered roughly right here on this green candle, right? I think it's exactly on this right here. A lot of traders would have made this mistake that, let me zoom this over here, that on this dip, they would sell. So this dip, they get scared, like, hey, I don't want it to come back to break even. I see green, take green, rather than waiting for the full TP, which would have been right above this next high. And this is a mistake, and I tell people this because you mess up your risk reward. Let's say you had planned a risk reward of, let's say you enter here, your stop loss is roughly right here, and this is your actually full target is right here. You're like, okay, almost at 1 to 2, let's call it 1 to 2 risk reward. But if you then you're like, yeah, you know, green is green, you take it here. Well, if you took the other pitch, if you took it here and then you took it here, that's more like a 1 to 1 risk reward, right? You mess it up. And I tell people, like, hey, if the market is giving you, like, this is still a bullish structure, right? We broke the structure right here. We back testing with the fair value gap below. We're back testing it to then make the next push higher. So the structure is still bullish. There is no reason to close it. If anything, this could be potentially a second re-entry. And I saw some other people re-enter there for a small scalp, looking for that next high. So it's all about, when you're trading, is understanding that green is just not green, and you gotta take the correct trades and hold your winners. So anyway, hope this video helped. It was a quick breakdown of 2 trades that we took. Trade live with us every single day. The link will be down below. And as always, peace out.